Shalom, 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 shalom to the 12 tribes that scatter abroad. Shalom to the 12 tribes that scatter abroad. The 12 tribe of Israel. First, man, we want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. We want to give all praise and honor to the Father and the Son. And next, I just want to say I am Israel, a true seeker of Yahweh. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Well, today, man, we're going to pick up in Genesis chapter 30. We did Genesis chapter 29, and I want to recap on some of that because I ain't have give y'all all the names of the sons that were born. We ain't looked all the definition of. I know we probably did Reuben, because that was the first one. And Reuben meaning see a son. And the definition, because we left off in 29 that he worked 7 years for the younger daughter, but he deceived her and gave him the older daughter first, and he told him that it's not lawful in the country to give the younger daughter before the older daughter. So Jacob ended up marrying, did 7 years. The first 7 years he did for the older daughter. He got the older daughter. He went into her, she became his wife. Then he did 7 more years and he got the one that he admired, that he loved it. And that was Rachel. The younger sister, Rachel. So he did another 7 years for that. And then he did 7 more years. So in all, he did like 21 years. And we talked about that. So the Most High seen that he loved it, that Leah, the first wife, that was the first wife, Leah, that she was hated, and he opened up her womb. So she bare him 4 boys, and the first one was Reuben. And Reuben meaning, behold, a son. It said, the name Reuben means, behold, a son. It said, Reuben can refer to several things: a male given name, the biblical figure Reuben, son of Jacob, the Reuben sandwich, or the annual award for cartoonists. The name Reuben means, behold, a son. Now, the name, a male given name of Hebrew origin, meaning, behold, a son. Biblical figure, the eldest son of Jacob and Leah, and the traditional ancestor of one of the tribes of Israel. He tried to save his brother Joseph from his other brothers. We're going to get to that, but you remember all that. Now, the second son she gave birth to, Leah gave birth to, was named Simeon. We're going to look up Simeon. Bear with me, family. Allow for our war. Okay. The second child was named Simeon, mean heard. Remember she said in verse Genesis 29, verse 33, and she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Lord had heard that I was hated, he had therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon, meaning heard. Now the definition. Simeon can refer to the biblical figure, the second son of Jacob, or the tribe of Israel descended from him, which means he was heard in Hebrew. It also referred to a separate pious man in the New Testament who saw the infant Jesus in the temple and is known as Simeon the righteous, or Simeon the God receiver. The name is also masculine given name. So that's the second son she had. Simeon, Simon, however y'all want to pronounce it, son of Jacob, the second son of Jacob and Leah. His story includes a violent act of revenge with his brother Levi against the city of Shechem, which drew Jacob Ur. Now, we're going to get to all that. But this is about Simeon, so we didn't read by him. And it says Simeon the righteous. That's the other one. The one in the New Testament. Okay, the tribe of Simeon. Descendants of Simeon. The tribe of Israel descended from Simeon. The tribe is noted for migrating to find pasture and eventually being absorbed in the kingdom of Judah and the common identity of Jews after the Babylonian captivity. So that was Simeon. And Simeon is Reuben is the so-called I ain't got my 12 tribe chart because I definitely wanted to do that. I got a shirt though. So like, hold on, family. Shalaki family, Shalaki. Okay. Reuben is the so-called Seminole Indians. These are the name that we call them, Simeon and Reuben. Them the original nationality name what God gave them, the Reubenites. Not the Indians or the Seminole Indians. Not that. No, that's not their name. Reuben is the descendants of the Seminole Indians. The so-called Seminole Indian, them Indians, all them the Reubenites. That's their real nationality. Simon or Simeon is the Dominicans. Them the Dominican people. But their real nationality is named Simeon, Simon. They from the 12 tribe of Israel. Now, that was the second son. Then she turned around and conceived again and bore a son. And she conceived again and bare a son and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me. because I have borne him 3 sons, therefore was his name called Levi, meaning attached, joined. And remember, it said Simeon did a vicious act with his brother Levi when we read the definition of Levi, Simeon. It said Simeon did a violent, vicious act with his brother Levi. We're going to find out what all that was about. But the definition of Levi, and Levi is the so-called Haitians. The Haitian people, them the Levites. Them they call the Levite. That's the priesthood. We're going to find all about that. But Levi has several meanings, most commonly being the name of the 3rd son of Jacob in the Bible, who is the ancestor of the priestly tribe of Levi. Remember, I just said they the priesthood. But it's certain ones in there. You got to be down up under Aaron. The name itself comes from the Hebrew word Levi, meaning joined or adhered. It can also refer to American denim brand Levi, not the jean. We ain't talking about the jean. Biblical origin. The name is from the Hebrew Levi and is most famously known as the 3rd son of Jacob and Leah, meaning it is related to the Hebrew verb for to join or be joined, reflecting Leah's hope that her husband would be joined to her with this son. So that 3rd son she was hoping that the husband join with her, be joined with her. Cause remember she was supposed to be called hated. She was hated. So God opened up her womb and she bare kids for Jacob. And that was her 3rd son. And it say the tribe of Levi, Jacob's son. Levi was the ancestor of the Levites, the priestly tribe tasked with religious duties in the ancestor Israelite society. Now, that was the 3rd son. Then she turned around and gave birth again, and she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, now I will praise the Lord. Therefore, she called his name Judah, meaning praise or praised, and left barren. Remember? And I don't know if I did look this up. Judah can refer to the biblical figure, the 4th son of Jacob. The tribe of Judah descended from him, or the kingdom of Judah, which was a kingdom in ancient Palestine. The name itself comes from the Hebrew word Yahudah, meaning praise or praised. Biblical figure Judah was the 4th son of Jacob and Leah, born into the Israelite lineage. He is depicted in the book of Genesis as taking a leadership role among his brothers. He is also the patriarch from whom the tribe and the kingdom derived their name. So Judah was the 4th son. The tribe and kingdom of Judah. The tribe of Judah was one of the 12 tribes of Israel, traditional said to be descendants from the patriarch Judah. The kingdom of Judah was the southern kingdom of ancient Israel, with its capital in Jerusalem, which included the tribes of Judah and Benjamin. That's the baby brother, the youngest of all. The name Jew is derived from Judah. So the Jew is derived from Judah. I remember explaining that to y'all in reading the Bible 29. I think that was chapter 29. The name Judah is derived from the Hebrew word Yahudah. It means praise or praise. The Hebrew root Yahudah means to praise or to throw out hand, suggesting a meaning of giving praise or pointing to God. And that was the 4th son. And now we begin with Genesis chapter 30. So everybody get out their King James Version with the Apocrypha. Oh, Judah is the so-called Negro, the so-called African Americans. That's what Judah means. Judah is the so-called Negro. Levi is the so-called Haitian. Simeon is the so-called Dominicans. And Reuben is the so-called Seminole Indians. These part of the 12, these 4 brothers from the 12 tribe of Israel, where we are from. And you'll find out that we are Israel as we read along. When we get the laws, statutes, and commandments, you will see. So now we begin with the book of Genesis chapter 30, verse 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die. Now envy. Let's look the definition of that word envied up. Envy. Desire to have a quality, possession, or other desirable attribute belonging to someone else. Now, that's a law. That's a law. Thou should not, thou should not covenant thy neighbors. Whatever he owned, covenant thy neighbors. Cow covenant. You cannot covenant. And that's what she doing. So she envied, meaning covenant, her sister. She envied her sister and said unto Jacob, and went to Jacob and said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die. Man, I hate when this do that. This thing get to acting a fool. Wow. Salaki family, hold on. But she did say, give me children or else I die. Now, y'all know the saying that what they say about the tongue. The tongue is a powerful thing. You will speak things into existence. The Bible tells you you'll speak it into existence. Actually, you shall receive it, you know. And she told Jacob, give me children or else I die. Remember that now. Remember that, because later on in this story, like I said, that tongue is a powerful thing. That tongue will get your whole head cut off. You speak things into existence. Then he spoke things into existence. Let there be light. He spoke things into existence the same way as you. He said you was a God. And the scripture cannot be rewritten or changed. So she spoke things into existence. This is what she did. I always remember, or else I die. God, Deuteronomy chapter 32, 39. Go there right quick. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 32, 39. Because she coming to Jacob with this thing. This is the book of Deuteronomy. Chapter 32, verse 39. And it reads, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me, no God with him. I kill and I wound. No, I kill, Salaki. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. So she going to Jacob, neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. She going to Jacob and talking to Jacob about uh that. Let's continue the story though. But she, like I said in verse 1, and when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die. Now remember in Deuteronomy 32:39, God do all these things. No God with him. So verse 2 read, and Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. So he got mad. Come on, don't do that. Wow. Wow. It won't let me scroll up. Don't worry about it. But and Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. Kindled, I was trying to look the definition of kindle up. But this phone acting crazy. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Kindle.
Light or set on fire. The second, arouse or inspire an emotion or feeling. The third one, of emotion, be aroused. Kindle meaning he kindled, his anger was kindled. His anger got aroused. It was wakened. Let's see some of these words. Yeah, waken, awaken, quicken, stimulated, inspired, stirred up. That's a good one. That was a good one. So he got stirred, his anger got stirred up with Rachel. Let's continue. And he said, am I God stead, who have withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? What he just said, is he God stead? God said, hey, there's no God with him. I do all these things. Go back to Genesis 29 and 31. The book of Genesis chapter 29 verse 31. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, what the Lord did? He opened her womb. So why are you going to Jacob complaining to Jacob? That's why Jacob anger got kindled with her like, is I'm God? I'm not God. You need to be going to God and talk to God about that. So why is you coming to me? Somebody give me kids or else I die. But like I said, that tongue will get you in a whole lot of trouble. Verse 3, back to Genesis chapter 30, verse 3. And she said, behold, my maid, Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. So she took her maidservant, and she was telling him to go into her maidservant. That's what we say. What we've been going through. Okay, when go back to Genesis chapter 16, verse 2. The book of Genesis chapter 16, verse 2. And Sarah said unto Abraham, behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah. So the same thing Sarah did. Rachel turned around and did the same thing with her children. With her handmaid. She told Jacob to take her maidservant and go into her, so she gonna become a concubine, a wife. The same thing with the Egyptian woman became to Abraham. She gonna become a concubine, a wife. And he said, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon, to be upon, meaning bear upon my knees that let me see, my knees that I may also have children by her, be built up, by having children, be built up by her. So she's gonna get it made to Jacob to have children the same way, just like Sarah did with Abraham. Verse 4. And she gave him Bilhah. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. To wife. See, she became a wife. And Jacob went in unto her. So there's 3 wives. Each one of them, he went into her. Leah, he went into her, became a wife. First, we're gonna go back to Abraham. When Sarah gave Abram the Egyptian woman, the wife, he went into her. So she became his wife. Now we jump up into Jacob. Jacob went into Leah. She became his wife, the first wife. Then he went into Rachel. She became the second wife. Then now he just going into Bilhah. She becoming a wife, but she don't have the full duty of the first 2 wives. She just really a concubine, but she a wife. I hope y'all understand that. Verse 4 again from the top. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. So Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, verse 6, and Rachel said, God had judged me. We all know the definition of judge. So we ain't gonna worry about looking at the definition of judge, because God judged her. And let's keep reading. And had also heard my voice, and had given me a son, therefore called she his name Dan. Okay. Now, Jacob already got 4 sons. Now, he negate his wife Rachel, who he loved it, then gave her handmaid up to Jacob the wife to bear kids for Rachel. So she conceived and bare him a son. So Rachel said God heard her. God judged her first. Judged her by what? Going at Jacob hollering about give me children or else I die. Now he judged her. He decided her judgment up, and you will see what her judgment is. And then he said, and had also heard my voice, because she want kids. So she gave up her handmaid to have kids, to bounce on her knee, to raise on the knee. And had given me a son, therefore called she his name Dan. Dan meaning judge. Because she said God judged her. So this son, that's why she named him Dan. So Dan meaning judge. Let's look the definition of Dan up. Dan. Any of 10 degree of advanced professions in judo, or karate. That ain't what we looking for. Okay, Dan 2. A smaller bayou with a lightweight flagpole. That ain't what we looking for. Okay, say Daniel, in biblical reference. It ain't giving much. What does Dan mean in English? What does the name Dan mean? What does Dan mean in the Bible? Okay, let's go here. In the Bible, Dan primarily means to judge or he judged. Deriving from the Hebrew verb Dan, D-Y-N, Dinah. The name is first associated with Jacob's fifth son, Dan, and his mother, Rachel, exclamated at his birth. Exclamation.
Exclamation.
Exclamation. A sudden cry or remark, especially expressing surprise, anger, or pain. So she cried at his birth. What it's saying when it said the name, what it say, Dan, and his mother Rachel's exclamation at his birth. She cried at his birth. God had judged me. The name also carried a prophetic meaning, as Jacob blessed him by saying, Dan shall judge his people, a role fulfilled by the judge Samson, who was a descendant of Dan. The tribe of Dan, however, is noted for its eventual idolatry, which led to its exclusion from the list of the tribes sealed in the book of Revelation. Whoa. So that's Dan, meaning to judge, or he judged. And his daddy gonna bless him too. Gonna say what it just said about the tribe of Dan, however it noted that it was eventual idolatry, that he judged his people. Yeah. So that's the fifth son. But it said mother Rachel. But remember, Rachel ain't gave birth to Dan. She gave her handmaid to give birth to Dan. That's her handmaid. She can do what she want to do with her handmaid. Remember when Abraham told Sarah, his wife, that's your maid. She in your hand. Do as you please. So she do as please. So what she did, she gave her up to have a baby by her husband. So she became the wife, and the child became her. Con. Now, let's continue. Verse 7. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bare Jacob a second son. So she conceived again and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, verse 8, and Rachel said, with great wrestling have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. So she said, great wrestling with her sister that she wrestled, wrestling of God. Have I wrestled with my sister, and she prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali, meaning, come on, my wrestling. Let's get the definition of Naphtali. If this act right. Here we go again. We're going to do it. Here we go. Oh, man. Naphtali referred to the sixth son of Jacob and the ancestor of the tribe of Naphtali. I wasn't even giving y'all these names. Okay. Naphtali, the tribe of Naphtali, one of the 12 tribes of Israel, the name, which means my wrestling or my scrubbler in Hebrew, originated from Rachel's joy at having a son through her maidservant, Bilhah. After a long revival with her sister Leah, the tribe was a located territory in northern Canaan and is described in the Bible as a doe set free that bears beautiful fawns, symbolizing freedom and abundance. Biblical origin. Naphtali was the sixth son of Jacob and the second son of Bilhah, Jacob concubine, and Rachel handmaid. Name meaning. The name comes from the Hebrew word patali, pathar, to twist or struggle, which Rachel chose to reflect her struggle with her sister Leah for 4 sons. Family. He had 4 sons, Jahaziel, Ghana, Jezer, and Shalaman. Blessing. Jacob deathbed blessing. They're gonna be in Genesis chapter 49. The blessing that he gave all 12 of his sons. We're gonna get to that. Jacob deathbed blessing describes him as a doe set free that bears beautiful fawns. Okay, it says as a tribe, ancestry. Naphtali is the traditional ancestor of the tribe of Naphtali, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Territory. The tribe was assigned territory in the fertile northern part of Canaan. Significance. The tribe is sometimes associated with spiritual strength and prophetic importance in some interpretations. So that's the sixth son. And we had Dan and it was the second son, and Naphtali. Now, Dan is not on the 12 tribe of the chart. As we go, you will find that out as we read. I'm gonna show you why Dan is not, and it told you in the thing that what his blessing gonna be, that he judged his people. See, Dan was the first one to get into this idolatrous shit, and it ruined a lot. But we gonna find all that out. But Naphtali is the so-called Argentina people. All the ones that over there in Argentina, them the Naphtali people. Now let's continue. Verse 9. When Leah saw that she had left barren, meaning couldn't have no more kids, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. So she did the same thing. So she took her maid. Remember, she already gave birth to 4, but she left off barren. So Rachel turned around and gave her handmaid. Now she gave up 2. That gave them 6 sons. Now there's 6 sons. This half of the 12 tribe. This half of the 12 tribe. So now Leah see that she left barren, that she couldn't bear him no more sons. So she took her handmaid Zilpah and gave him to Jacob to wife. Verse 10. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. So she conceived and she bare a son. Verse 11. And Leah said, a troop, meaning fortune. A troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. Now, Gad is the so-called American Indians, the Gadites. You had the Reubenites, you had the Seminites, you had the Levites, you had the Judites, you had the Danites, and you had the Naphtalites, and now you got the Gadites. This is seventh son. And this is by Leah handmaid. Let's take it from the top again, verse 11. And Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad, troop or fortune. That's what Gad means. The definition. Gad stands for generalizing annex disorder. So it's GAD. It is mental health condition characterized by exceeded. That ain't what we looking for. Man, they ain't even got a good question for what is the meaning of gag. Let's see. The same thing. What does gag mean biblically? Okay, that's what I was looking for. In the Bible, Gad primarily referred to Jacob's seventh son, the founder of the tribe of Gad, and a prophet who served King David. The name means fortune, luck, or truth. He served King David. Reflecting the joy at his birth, or the warlike natural of the tribe that settled east of the Jordan River. That's on the other side before they cross over to take. The name can also refer to a pagan god or fortune worship by some Israelite during the Babylonian captivity. You see? You see how we went again? Jacob's son, the seventh son of Jacob, born to Zilpah, Leah maidservant. His name was chosen by Leah to signify fortune come or a troop cometh. Prophet Gad, a prophet and seer who served King David, guiding him during. Oh, that's the one that served King David. We're gonna read about that too. Tribes and group. Tribe of Gad, a tribe descended from Jacob's son Gad, known for being warlike and settled on the fertile land east of the Jordan River. They were considered borders gardens for the northern kingdom. You're going to learn all about the northern kingdom. Gods of fortune. In ancient Semitic culture, and during the Babylon captivity, Gad was the name of a god of fortune. That's that statue. What some we don't supposed to be honoring. No idolatry. So Gad was the seventh son, and it means a fortune or a truth. Verse 12. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. Now, did the second son she bare him? Now, Gad is the eighth son. Let's count these sons up. Okay, we had Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, that's 6. Gad, 7. Now, verse 12. And Zilpah Leah made bear Jacob a second son. This is going to be the 8th one. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughter will call me blessed, and she called his name Asher. Now, Asher is the Colombian. They are the Colombian people. And Asher means happy. Because she said, and Leah said, happy am I, for the daughter will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. Asher meaning, the definition of Asher. Asher can refer to a son of Jacob, a progenitor of the tribe of Asher in the Hebrew Bible. A given name meaning happy or blessed, or an occupational surname. The name has Hebrew, Old English, and German origin, leading to different meaning depending on the source. Biblical figure and tribe. Asher was the 8th son of Jacob and the founder of the tribe of Asher, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. See, that's a tribe of Asher. You see, that's how our family's so big. It's 12 tribes. It's 12 tribes out of this one nation. This one nation of people, but it's 12 tribes. Just like the Ishmaelites. One nation, but they got 12 princes. His name is traditional interpreted as meaning happy or blessed. The tribe was known for its prosperity, particularly in producing oil. So that's Jacob's 8th son by Leah handmaid, her second son by Jacob, by Leah handmaid, and that makes her the second son. Now, verse 14. Let's move on back to chapter 30, verse 14. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them unto his mother, Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. So Reuben, that's the oldest son of Leah and Jacob. That's the firstborn of the 12 tribes. Reuben went out and found mandrake during the wheat harvest. And what are mandrakes? The definition of mandrake.
Mandrake.
A Mediterranean plant of the nightshade family with white or purple flowers and large yellow berries. It has a forked flesh root that supposedly resembles the human form and was formerly widely used in medicine and magic. Allegedly shrinkage when pulled from the ground. Another term for May apples. So these are May apples. These some like apples, mandrakes. That's what they are. And Leah's son brought him in and brought him to her. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son mandrake, of thy son May apples. Verse 15, and she said unto her, is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? So Leah said, this is a small, these two sisters, same daddy, same mama, two sisters, married to the same man. So she said, is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? Because she was married to him first. She was. Even though he was deceived, but she was his first wife. So she kind of angry about that. Let's continue. And wouldest thou take away my son Mandrake also? So she was like, now you want to take my son Mandrake. You already took my husband. You want my son Mandrake? I even gave him 4 sons. And he still didn't join with me. These are things that probably going through her head, or she probably saying it to her sister. I don't know. But now she said, you want to take my son Mandrake. And Rachel said, therefore, he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son Mandrake. So it's like Rachel got more pull, even though she the second wife. It's like she got more pull because look what she just said. Therefore, he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son Mandrake. She wanted some of them Mayapple. So she said, he should lie with you tonight then. You know, these his wife, but he's not sleeping in a room, it wasn't a room, in a tabernacle. See, that's what we did during October time when we go out in the woods and camp out. See, you gonna see that. Y'all see all that as we read along. All that gonna come into play. But it's like each one of his wives had their own tabernacle. And he had his. They ain't slept all in the same place together. No. No. That's sinning. So if like if a man at the day to these days now, if a man have more than one wife, 2 wives, just say a man got 2 wives. If he got a big old house, that's fine. Cause one to be on one side, one to be on the other side. Other than that, they got to be in different places. They can't be all, or different rooms or something like that. They can't all be in the same, sleep in the same bed all together like that. No, that's sinning. That's our sinning. You can't do that. Now you're allowed to have more than one wife, but the word go against that. What the Bible said. Our forefather, Jacob, got 4 wives. Abraham had 2, but you're going to run into more men in the Bible got more wives than that. King David had more wives than that. But the world say we can't have number 1 wife. Everything the Bible say good or righteousness, the world say it's wrong, it's bad, or wickedness. They do the opposite of it. And that's what they taught us. That's why we out trying to break it down to y'all to get back to y'all standards where we supposed to be. We are holy people. Holy people. Let's continue. So she said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son Mandrake. Verse 16. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening. So Jacob came from out of the field in the evening. And Leah went out to meet him and said, thou must come in unto me. What we said about that unto me. Come in unto me mean they having sex. So once I thought it came in the truth. I believe that marriage, sex is marriage. So if you sleep with that woman, you marry that woman. That means she becomes your wife. You have to take care of that woman. So that's why I don't sleep around no more. I thought it learned it's true. No. Because I can't abide it like, no. I need me a God-fearing woman. One gonna love God more than she loved me. Because she loved God more than she loved me, she gonna follow the laws and statutes and commandments of God. And that ain't gonna do nothing but make her love me more. And I advise y'all women to do the same. Look for y'all a God-fearing man. One that gonna want to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Not one that, cause you hear that, cause God over Jesus over man and man over woman, and he want to misuse that. No, that ain't how that's supposed to go. He got the last, he the head of the house. He got the last say so. But if he ain't doing it according to this, that ain't where you want to be. It got to be according to the Bible. And that's why it's good for y'all to read. He teaches you too, but it's good for y'all women to read to get the understanding too. So you can see is he doing it according to the Bible. Because back then, our women respect our man back then. Then before they got to y'all and changed y'all up. It was honor. It wasn't all this disrespectful and stuff. No. It wasn't. Let's continue. We was in verse 16. 16 again from the top. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son Mandrake. And he lay with her that night. So he came in and laid with her that night. So he slept in her tent, I guess, that night. Or when he got through doing his business, or he went back to his tent. I don't know. We don't know. We just read what they say. Verse 17. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the fifth son. Now, the first wife gave him 4. Now she giving him the 5th. God hearkened to her, opened her womb up again. Now she conceived and bare him another son. Pay attention. This got to be God's word, because he ain't having none but son. He building the 12 tribes. Yes, he had a daughter. They're going to tell about it. They're going to read about it. We're going to read about it. But this is the 5th son that she conceived with Leah. So this made what? The 9th? Yeah, this make the 9th son. He done had now. He done had 9 children, 9 boys now. Verse 18. And Leah said, God had given me my hire, because I have given my maid to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. Now, she said, God have given me my hire. Let's look the definition of that hire up. Hire, employer, someone for wages. So God gave her wages. Verse 2. Second definition. Obtain the temporary use of something for an agreed payment, rent. The action of hiring someone or something. And the second one, a person who is hired and employed. So God gave her wages. When she said, and Leah said, God, verse 18, and Leah said, God had given me my hire, my wages, because I have given my maid to my husband. So her wages had to be giving her another son. Remember, she gave her mandrake to her sister, sold her mandrake to her sister for her husband to lie with, to come in unto her. So her wages from that, I'm gonna give you a child. So she conceived a 5th son for him. Leah producing all the sons. Leah producing all of them. You got 2 from Leah handmaid, and you got 2 from Rachel handmaid. Rachel ain't even gave up no kids yet. And remember what she said back in the beginning of the 30. Remember what she said? Give me children or else I die. And she was judged. Remember she said when she gave her Bilhah to her husband, the wife to conceive, and she was judged on one of her sons. That was Judge Dan. That was Dan. Dan means to judge. So she was judged on that. And her judgment coming up. Her judgment coming up. So let's look and see what Issachar means. Issachar means hired. The definition of Issachar is Issachar means there is a wage or he is hired, referring to the reward for which his mother Leah bore him. It can also mean reward and is the name of Jacob's fifth son in a biblical context. The fifth son means by Leah. That's his fifth son by her, but he got 9 in all. He came the 9th one. He was the 9th one that born. But the 5th one born by Leah, his first wife. His second wife ain't bore no kid. His third wife, Bilhah, Rachel handmaid, bore him 2 kids. And Leah handmaid, his 4th wife, Zilpah, bore him 2 kids. And that gave him 9 in all, with the extra one that had what Leah had 5. So that's 9. 2 and 2, 4 plus 5 is 9. Got it. Okay, let's finish reading it. And the 5th son, in a biblical context, the tribe of Issachar is known for wisdom, discernment, and scholarship. Now, Issachar is the so-called Mexican. And we did a nerd. I'm gonna get back to that one too. Who that was we had just did with Leah handmaid. Did we do the Asher? Oh, that was Asher. That was Asher. We did that. Now, name, origin, and meaning. There is a wage, or he is hired. This is the most widely cited meaning. Stemming from Leah's statement upon his birth, God has given me my hire because I gave my handmaid to my husband. Because she gave her handmaid to her husband. That's her hire. So the wages wasn't what I said then. It was because she gave her handmaid to her husband. So like it, and I would correct that. See, because we all about the truth. We true seekers of Yahweh. So still it was called she sold the hand mandrakes to her sister for to sleep with her husband. It wasn't that. It because she gave her handmaid up to her husband. To wife. So that's where her wages came in. So she birthed another child. So she birthed 2 for her. So by her just selling her mandrake and sleeping with her husband that night, God bless her with another child for giving her handmaid up to her husband. Okay. It's a reward. Another interpretation is rewarded, reflecting Leah's feeling that God had rewarded her for giving her maidservant to Jacob. So that's an interpretation, is reward, reflecting Leah's feeling. This how Leah's felt, that God had rewarded her for giving her maidservant to Jacob. Biblical figure Issachar was the fifth son of Leah and Jacob, and a patriarch of one of the 12 tribes of Israel. The tribe of Issachar was known for its spiritual power and intellect, with members who were scholars, including those who helped create the Israelite calendar. Discernment, they are described in the Bible as men that had understanding of the times to know what Israel ought to do, indicating a gift for discernment. Relationship with Zebulun. The tribe had a close relationship with the tribe of Zebulun. Now, Zebulun ain't even born yet, but he coming. With Zebulun providing financial support that allowed the scholars or Issachar to dedicate themselves to religious study. Now, remember, Issachar is the Mexican, the so-called Mexican. Zebulun, we finna get on to it. Let's get it. Let's continue. We're in verse 19. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the sixth son. Now, this is the sixth son her first wife giving him. And gonna be the 10th son in all. And Leah said, verse 20, and Leah said, God had endued me with a good dowry, endowment. That's what dowry means. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons, and she called his name Zebulun. Zebulun. Okay, we're going to do this endued first. Endued me. Endue, endow, or provide with a quality or ability. That's the definition of endue. To provide, endow, or provide with a quality or ability. Now we're going to do dowry. Dowry. Property or money brought by a bride to her husband on their marriage. That dowry. And Leah said, God had endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. So dowry, meaning property or money brought by a bride to her husband on their marriage. So she brought the son to him. That's what she had to bring. Dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me? I done bear him 6 sons. 6. He got 10 in all. And I gave him 6 out of them 10. And she said, now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. Zebulun meaning dwelling. Define. Zebulun is a Hebrew name with several meanings, including exalted house, dwelling Lord, or prince, and can also refer to honor or gift from God. It is also the name of the 10th son of Jacob, and the Israelite tribe descended from him. Historically, the tribe was known for its commercial success and settled near the Sea of Galilee and the Mediterranean coast. Now, Zebulun is the so-called Guatemalas. And who kick it close with them? Issachar, the Mexican. So the Mexican and the Guatemala, you know, that they Hispanic people, the Latino peoples. They from the northern tribe. But these are brothers, same as us. They all were brothers. We are all brothers. We calling out the tribe, the name of they real nationality what God gave them. They name, they biblical nationality name, they biblical tribe names, nationality name, and the name that the world called them. Changing it. Remember God said they gonna change your name. They gonna give you, change your English. They gonna change your language. They gonna change your name. See, our name really Israel. From the tribe of Judah. Me. I'm from the tribe of Judah. Banya Hawada. Banya Sha'ala. Nehemiah. Banya Hawada. Banya Sha'ala. Meaning, my name Nehemiah. They call me, I changed my name to Nehemiah, biblical name. Nehemiah. Banya Hawada. Banya Sha'ala. Yasha'ala. What Yasha'ala? Jerusalem, Israel. I'm from the 12 tribe of Israel. Banya Hawada. I'm from the tribe of Judah. Nehemiah. Banya Hawada. From the tribe of Judah. Banya Sha'ala. From the 12 tribe of Israel. That's me. Y'all will learn all this. See, that is Hebrew talk. Banya Hawada. Banya Sha'ala. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Hamashiach. That's what it is, man. But this is his 10th son. And they call his name Zebulun, meaning exalted house, dwelling, Lord, prince, and can also refer to honor or gift from God. Biblical significance. Tribe of Zebulun. In the Bible, Zebulun was the 10th son of Jacob and Leah. Jacob prophesied that Zebulun would settle at the shore of the sea. He shall be a haven for ships. This was fulfilled as the tribe territory border the Sea of Galilee and the Mediterranean, which facilitated maintaining trade. They did a lot of trading. Messianist prophecies. The prophet Isaac foretold that Goliath, including Zebulun, would be honored as a place where the gospel would be preached, which was fulfilled when Jesus began his public ministry there. So that's the 10th son, the 6th son of Jacob and Leah. And Rachel still ain't gave birth to a son. God judged her. And she being judged as we speak. She was being judged as we read. Verse 21, back to Genesis 30, verse 21. And after she bare a daughter and called her name Dana. Now, she gave a daughter to Jacob. This Leah. Leah bare this man 7 children, 6 boys and 1 girl. And y'all said she was hated? I don't think she was hated in that type of way. He loved to live. If he didn't, he would have never accepted her. This all God's plan, though, to create the 12 tribes. One woman he could have did it with one woman, but he used 4. create the 12 tribes of Israel. It's all God's plan. And who is we to say that God is wrong? Let's continue. He gave birth to a daughter, and she called her name Dana, meaning judgment. Define Dana. Dana is a Hebrew name that means judged or vindicate. Who else mean to judge? Dan, remember? Dana, Dan. They about the same thing. But she got vindicated. We ain't gonna hear too much about her. We gonna hear some things, but she too much, because she ain't no progenitor. She can't progenerate a nation. She don't have a seed. It's not like a woman don't mean nothing. It's not that. No. You cannot progenerate. You'll find all that out as we go on. You only can. That's why it ain't no such thing as no mixed kid. Because you are what your father is. How can you be mixed? It don't matter what your mother is. If you an Israelite man make an Israelite baby. A white man or Esau, Edomite, them the white man, Edomite, make an Edomite baby, man. Ishmaelite man, make an Ishmaelite man a baby. It don't matter what the woman is. The woman can be black, white, blue, purple. It doesn't matter. Because the seed come from the man. Only way a woman can have a baby if that man shoot his seed in her. And as we read what God said to Abraham, his seed after him. We come from a seed. It ain't no magical birth or no virgin birth. Ain't none of that. You are from a seed. You from the seed of Abraham. His seed after his seed after his seed. That's the lineage we fall down. But let's continue with Dinah. Dinah is a Hebrew name that means judge or vindicate. It is mostly famously the name of Jacob only named daughter in the Old Testament, make it a biblical name with a significant origin. Hebrew origin. The name comes from the Hebrew word din, meaning judgment. Biblical figure Dinah is the daughter of Jacob and Leah mentioned in the book of Genesis. A common variety of this name is Dinah, which also means judge and is sometimes used for baby girls. Okay, that was it. That's his daughter that Leah gave birth to. So he got 11 kids in all right now. 10 boys and 1 girl. And that's from Leah, his first wife, Leah handmaid Zalpo, and Rachel handmaid Bilhah. Rachel have not given up a child yet. And we had 10 of the 12 tribes. So we got to come up with 2 more with the 12 tribes. Let's continue. Verse 22, back to Genesis chapter 30, verse 22. And God remembered Rachel. He remembered Rachel. And God hearkened to her and opened her womb. Remember, Rachel said to Jacob, give me kids or else I die. And Jacob says, I'm in God's stead. Is I'm God? God remember all that. God judged her between all that. God remember she gave her handmaid to Jacob to wife, to bear her kids upon her knee. God remember that. That's why it said, and God remembered Rachel. He saved the best for last, I guess. Because that's who he loved it. He really did love it, Rachel. That's who he met first at the well. And what he say? He loved Rachel. Rachel was let's look that up again. Rachel was what's the word? Ewe, a female sheep. And she was bear with me, fam. I just wanted to get this precept. What I'm looking for. I can't think of what I was the word. Cause it ain't showing it. But she was loved by him. She was loved. Well, he loved it all. He had to love them all. But he really did love Rachel. So God remembered Rachel. And God hearkened to her and opened up her room. Meaning now she can conceive. She can bear children. Because remember, she wasn't bearing. She couldn't bear. Back to Genesis chapter 30, verse 23. I couldn't find it. And she conceived and bare a son and said, God had taken away my reproach. Reproach. So she conceived and she bare a son. Then make his 11th son and his 12th child with the daughter Leah gave. So now the second wife who he loved it, finally bare him a son. She conceived. And she said, God took away my reproach. Define reproach.
Reproach.
Address someone in such a way as to express disapproval or disappointment. The expression of disapproval for disappointment. Rebuke, reproof, admonishment, admonishment, scolding, lecture, upbraiding, criticize, disapproval. So God taking away her disapproval with the judgment, but that wasn't all her judgment now. Because that tongue will speak real things. Because she said one thing, or else I die. That hurt it. And y'all gonna see. But everything else, he took away the reproach. He took away the approval, the disapproval that he had towards her about what she said. Especially, he rebuked. Especially how she went towards Jacob with that. Like Jacob, that's why he said, is I'm God stead? Is I'm God? I can't open up your room. I ain't closed your room. So she rebuked it. He rebuked her from that. That's a reproach. He rebuked her He forgave her and gave her a child. That's what he did. Back to Genesis 30, verse 24. And she called his name Joseph and said, the Lord shall add to me another son. So she gave birth to a son. She conceived and gave birth to a son, and she called his name Joseph, meaning he will add. Joseph will add. That will mean Joseph meaning. The definer, Joseph can refer to several prominent figures in the Bible. A male given name of Hebrew origin, or in some historical context, a specific type of woman's riding coat. The name's Hebrew root, Yosef, Yosel, Y-O-S-E-L. I know I'm going to be pronouncing these words right. I pronounce them the best way I can. But I think that's a Yosef means he will add or God will increase. So Joseph means he will add and God will increase. And that makes so much sense. Every name, the meaning of every name of his sons, what he gave him, fit them in their category. And you're going to see as we go along. This ain't just telling you that, because it ain't just telling you his name, this, and the meaning of it. It ain't just giving you the meaning just to be giving you a meaning. No, it means something. Watch they characteristics as we read. The name that he gave them going to fit them just right. And the blessing that they father give them in chapter 49 going to play right on out into today's time. And y'all going to see who exactly this Bible is talking about. Who are the real Israelites here. Remember, I just went down the thing and was giving y'all the name. And Joseph, he's not on the 12 tribe either, but Joseph I can't spoil it as we go along. We going to see, but Joseph is one of the 12 brothers. He the 11th brother that born. And he had 12 children with the girl, but it's the 11th son that born. So Joseph, Old Testament, Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob and the favorite son, who was sold into slavery by his jealous brothers, but rose to become a powerful ruler in Egypt. He will add, or God will increase. You heard what it just said, what Joseph was, and we ain't even got to it yet, but it's all coming up in Genesis. You're going to see all that. He was sold. It was a reason why this was God's plan. But we ain't going to jump ahead ourselves. I was just wanted to read some of the things about this. We're going to go back to this when we get to that point. But I'm giving y'all fresh up, head start. I'm putting you on a category. Let me see. New Testament, Joseph was the husband of Mary and the earthly father of Jesus. Now, that's another Joseph, but that's Jesus' father. Everybody hollering about Jesus, God put Jesus there. What that thing just said. The New Testament, Joseph was the husband of Mary, the husband of Jesus' mama, Mary, and the earthly father of Jesus. You come through a seed. You come through a seed. You ain't gonna come here without a seed. I'm not saying the Most High couldn't just put Jesus in her belly. But we gonna break that down. You gonna get to understand. I'm gonna show you the understanding of that. The spirit ascended upon her. He put the spirit in her. The baby was already there. He filled the baby up with the spirit, the Holy Spirit. That's what he did. But All that gonna come ashore. We gonna read all that. Because he's a seed. Jesus gonna save from his son, from the son of David. I was born just like my brothers. Jesus tell you himself. He came through a seed from a bloodline. How can you be a bloodline if you don't come through a seed? You ain't got no bloodline. Who you belong to? You gonna find all that out. That gonna be in Numbers. But let's keep going. We almost at 2 hours at this. Verse 24 again from the top. And she called his name Joseph and said, the Lord shall add to me another son. Verse 25. And it came to pass when Rachel had born Joseph that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away that I may go unto my own place and to my country. Now he telling his uncle, send me away. I gave birth to 11, 12 children. I got my wives, 4 wives. I done got a lot of stuff. Now send me away so I can go back to my own place and to my own country, where his own country was. He was staying in Canaan. Remember, they left from over there where the Canaanites at. Remember, his mama said she feel her life, she don't feel right if her son married one of the Hethite, meaning African, a Hamite. So that's why they sent him back to his mama brother house. So now he want to go back. That's what he's saying, send me back with my family. Verse 26, give me my wives and my children for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done thee. He did 21 years, probably more than that. We gonna find out. But he want his wife and his children so he can go. He served them. He served 7 for Leah, 7 for Rachel, extra 7 more just in the backup plans, I guess. Anything else you want to throw out there? Verse 27. Yeah, verse 27. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thy eye, tarry, meaning stay. For I have learned by experience that the Lord had blessed me for thy sake. I bless those who bless thee. I curse those who curse thee. What he told Abraham. All his blessings, this is just the promise that he gave Abraham that went down from Abraham to Isaac, Isaac to Jacob. This is the promise. And Laban said he know. He already know because he been getting blessed from the father, cause of Jacob. Jacob is a blessing. What the father called Abraham? A blessing. Let's go get that. I'm going to get you this one first. Genesis 26 and 24. And the Lord appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham, thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. Now, let's get the one when he said to Abraham. Let me see. It's around Genesis 14 to 15. Okay, here it is right here. The book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse. What was that right here? 26, 27, I meant. Okay, let me read it. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 2. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. That's what he told Abraham. So what Laban said to his nephew, verse 27, he said, and Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thy eye, stay, Terah, meaning stay, for I have learned by experience that the Lord had blessed me for thy sake. Because he's a blessing. The same promise he gave Abraham, it went down to his grandson, Jacob. He's a blessing. Precept that. You can precept Genesis chapter 12, verse 2 with Genesis chapter 30, verse 27. That's showing that he's a blessing. Anybody get blessed through him. And he gonna bless those. It's another precept, the one that say, I'm gonna bless those who bless thee, and I'm gonna curse those who curse thee. He tricked them, he deceived them, but he was still blessing him. Let's continue. Verse 28. Go back to Genesis 30, verse 28. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. Meaning, hold on. Why do I keep doing that? Okay, remember when he said, and he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. So he said it to him again. Remember, he said that to him one time when he told him, appoint him thy wages. This is the book of Genesis 29, verse 15. I just be precepting my Bible to keep me going, because when I be on the corner with this, I can pull the precept like that. It say Genesis chapter 29, verse 15. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, should thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? Now he asked him the same thing. In verse, back to Genesis 30, verse 28. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. Verse 29. And he said, and Jacob said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle, meaning his livestock, was with me. He kept his livestock. Verse 30. For it was little which thou hadst before I came. So he had much. This is what he said, that he, from experience, he see that he got blessed through Jacob. When he said from experience, verse 27, and Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thy eye, therefore I have learned by experience that the Lord had blessed me for thy sake. And what he just said, for it was little which thou hadst before I came. He had no big cattle. Finished off 30. And it is now increased unto a multitude, and the Lord had blessed thee since my coming. He's a blessing. So the Lord blessed him. He blessed whoever was around him who blessed him. So he ain't had much cattle, but now he increased. Now he see that the Lord had blessed him since he coming. Since he came here, you gained much. You gained much. Let's continue. And now, when shall I provide for my own house also? He want to go and provide for his own house. He done built him a family. This man got 12 kids, 11 boys and 1 girl. He got 4 wives, 2 concubines and 2 wives. This man ready to go back to his own country and provide for his own family. I'm not fit to keep making you feel comfort. It's cool. You my uncle. You in the gang or no? Now send me back to my own country, to my own people, so I can provide for them. He want to provide for his own. Check this out. Go to the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 5, precept of a man providing for his family. And this is what he want to do. He want to provide. He don't want to feel like he can't provide for his family. If he providing for somebody else's family, he want to provide for his own family too. So check this out. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. This is for a man. For a man who following God. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, if I provide not for my own, especially for those of his own house, especially for my own house, my kids, my wife, I'm providing for you. He had, and especially for those of his own house, he had denied the faith and is worse than an infidelity. Infidelity. An infidel is a person who does not adhere to a particular religion or belief system. Historically used as a derogatory term for non-believer, especially those of a different faith. The word comes from the Latin infidelis, meaning unfaithful or unbelieving, and can also be used to describe someone who has no religion, faith, or who rejects a specific theory or belief. Damn. Pardon my friend, but infidelity meaning you don't even have no faith. You don't even believe in God. That's bad. We got a lot of them out here like that. But a man don't provide for his own house, for his own. He had denied the faith, and it's worse than an infidelity. That's bad. That's bad. We finna get back there because it jumped out real quick. What verse we was in? Verse 30, verse 31. And he said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything. Same thing as Abraham, his granddad. When he went to say his nephew Lot from Sodom and Gomorrah captured them back, don't give me nothing. I don't want that. I don't want nobody to say you made me rich. I worked for it. He said, thou should not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. So he said, if you can do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. For how long? I don't know. Verse 32, I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckler and spotted cattle, the sheep. He's going to move all the speckled and spotted cattle and all the brown cattle among the sheep. He's going to remove them from among the sheep. And the spotted and speckled among the goats. He's going to do it through the goats. And of these shall be my wages. And of such shall be my hire. Meaning going to be his wage. So he said he'll work for the spotted and the speckled among the goats and the sheep. He'll take them from his good-looking sheep and take the spotted and the speckled one. That'll be his hire. And he'll do his sheep. He'll tend his sheep again while he's there. Verse 33. So shall my righteousness, so shall his righteousness, and the precept. The book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 6, for righteousness. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. So shall my righteousness, so his light, answer for me in time to come. When it shall come for my hire, when it comes for his wages, about my wages, so shall my righteousness, when it's time for my righteousness, answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my wages, my hire before thy face. When I come to you for my wages, everyone that is not speckled or spotted among the goats and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. So if he ain't got no speckle or brown on him, like spotted, speckled, spotted, and brown, and they come and he got them among him, if they ain't got none of that, they should be admitted stolen. He said they should be considered stolen with him. Verse 34. And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to thy word. So he would do according to thy word. Verse 35. And he removed that day the he goats that were ring scrided, screeked it, meaning screeked it, ring screeked it, and spotted, and all the she goat that were speckled, and spotted, and everyone that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons. So he gave them to the hands of his son. Jacob gave them to the hands of his son when he removed them. Verse 36. And he set 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock. So he set 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob, while Jacob fed the rest of the Laban flock. So when he gave his son the thing, they went on with all the spotted one, all the speckled one. Made 3 days. But Jacob stayed and fed the flock of Laban. Verse 37. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and peeled white stripes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. So Jacob took green poplar and of hazel and chestnut tree and peeled white stripe in them and made the white appear which was in the rods. Verse 38. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutter in the water troughs. When the flocks came to drink that day, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. So they gonna conceive what he hooked up. That's why he gave his son the one that he already pulled away from, and they started a 3-day journey away from him. So now he's made up a thing and peeled these off these trees and put it in the thing. So when the flock come to drink water, they gonna get sprinkled up. Let's see what it's talking about. Verse 39. And the flocks conceived before the rods. They conceived and brought forth cattle, ring stripe, meaning the one that he told where he striked it, with the one that he was saying he was going to take away. That's how when they gave birth, they produced one with the stripes on it and spotted. Verse 40. And Jacob did separate the lambs and set the face of the flock toward the ring stripe and all the brown in the flock of the band. And he put his own flocks by themselves and put them not unto the band's cattle. He ain't put them with the band cattle. He saw here to the side of the band to the side. Verse 41. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutter, that they might conceive among the rods. You see what Jacob did? He sighted up so when they conceive and have birth, that they will birth out one with spots and speckles and brown spots like that. Verse 42. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feeble were Laban's and the stronger Jacob. So the stronger one he took. He made them look spotted and all messed up. And the fallible one, the one that ain't look strong, he sat them to the side and gave the Laban. He was very smart now. Very smart. You played me now. You deceived me. You deceived me. You deceived me with my first wife. And I slaved for you 21 years. My uncle did this to me. Now I'm get back time. Check him out. He's smart now. Verse 42. But when the cattle were feeble, oh, we read that. Verse 43. And the man increased it. Meaning Meaning he increased it. He gained more. His cattle got big. His flock got real big. He increased it. Let's continue. And the man increased it exceedingly and had much cattle and maidservant and manservant and camels and ass. And that was the end of Genesis chapter 30. He increased it. He very small. You see how he gained, God multiplied him? He told him that. He promised this to Abraham. He promised this to Isaac. He promised this to Jacob. And he gonna promise it to the 12 tribe of Israel. It hand me down. It's hand me down. But that was the end of that. And man, you see how good it's getting? How Jacob proceed, how people get blessed around, how what God teach and what God preach, what he said, what he go down this lineage right here. The promise, God never forgot about us. God ain't gonna never break his promise. He gonna always give up. It's us. We the one need to come to realization that we serving the wrong thing. There's only one true God. And that's the God of Israel, the creator of heaven and earth. Man, it was wonderful reading Genesis chapter 30 to y'all. Now y'all go back over it and read it for yourself. You can start at the beginning and go all the way back up. This just enjoyment, trying to get y'all on the right path, trying to show y'all this light. Because the 12 tried to scatter the broad cut in one day. This man gonna bring us back together. And we all gonna be in that wilderness. Not all nations. No. Israelites. God's chosen people. And he gonna judge us one by one, face to face. So with that being said, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. That's the Father and the Son, man. And y'all be lovely and have a blessed day. Kwam Yasharala.